Welcome back to the stream today. How's it going? If you didn't see my tweets or you haven't or don't know, it is officially my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. And I believe my first stream was December 1st, 2021 on YouTube. I think so. Is that right? Was it? This is the exact time that I dropped this video. My classic why I left Twitch that kind of created Mogul Mail in what it is today. And also when this announcement dropped.
Wait, don't you get in trouble for playing music?
Not in this car. Not in this car.
And today is November 30th, 2022. So now on hindsight, we can talk about how the last year has gone and whether this newsworthy switch to YouTube was a good idea or a bad idea. What was good about it? What was bad about it? What lines from this video I'm going to regret because I'm going to hear them for the rest of my life, and what lines I am not going to have to worry about for the rest of my life. I went through today and I made a whole PowerPoint presentation on whether or not the past year was a mistake. Whether switching to YouTube was a good thing or a bad thing, both based off of some objective data and some subjective data and some personal goals. So those are the things we're going to go over today. Before we jump in, I would like to hear your opinions. Do you think the switch to YouTube was a good idea? YouTube sucks, lol W. Comeback pussy. YouTube is better, says Big Tub. Anyway, the poll emphatically says yes, but think for yourself. Outside of the poll, if you're watching at home right now, most of you people are lurkers, or maybe you're watching this as a video. What do you think? What do you think? Was switching to YouTube a mistake? All right, let's jump into it. First of all, we have to figure out how we were doing on Twitch. How do you know if where you are is good if you don't know where you came from, you know? My total hours streamed when I was a Twitch streamer was 2,189 in 365 days. Average viewers, I was at 27,885. That is also a big fucking number. And then finally, my peak viewership was 205,181, which was, of course, the finale of the subathon. It was a phenomenal year that I had on Twitch, which is, I think, in part why the people at YouTube wanted me to come over in the first place. Then the question becomes, how are the last 365 days on YouTube? Well, hours streamed, 1,200, a far cry from the number on Twitch. Average viewers, 20,422 with 71 million live views. Again, that's like people clicking on the stream. And then the final number, peak viewership, 175,163, which was Dream's face reveal, which isn't exactly a fact that I like to tell people, but it's true. It is true. When Dream revealed his face, 175,000 people were watching me. I'm hoping to beat that number when I do the chess boxing event next week, but maybe I will wake up to 80,000 viewers and go to bed with a smile on my face. Now, immediately, you'll notice the numbers aren't looking great for the Switch. Hours streamed, down 45%. Average viewership, down over a quarter, down 26%. And peak viewership is the closest, but still down 14%. All in the red. All bad. And so you might have the original thought that switching to YouTube was a mistake. I fell off and I am a worse and smaller streamer because I am now on YouTube. But I don't think that really paints the entire picture. Why? Because the subathon. It was the most successful, the most impossible to recreate month that I've ever had, not just on Twitch, but live streaming at all. The subathon was a crazy month, but I don't feel like we truly appreciate how crazy that month was. I think everybody knows about the subathon. Everyone knows about the record from the subathon, but the record is just one of the things that came from it. The subathon was 34% of my total hours watched on Twitch that year. 52% of my overall live views and watch time. Over half of my watch time came from the subathon. And of course, it was my peak viewership. And it was also one cummed pants. So now let's take a look at the data if we were to remove the subathon. Let's look at the final 90 days that I had on Twitch. Hours streamed, 322. Average viewership was 19,197. And the peak viewership that I had was 147,000, which was the Shit Camp Kickball event. So more reasonable numbers, more similar to what it seemed like on YouTube, in a far cry from the average, which we looked at over the entire course of 2021. Because again, the subathon was crazy and also impossible to recreate. So these are more realistic numbers for what things were like on Twitch as I was on my way out, the final 3 months. Well, let's take a look at YouTube. And this is the past 3 months, the last 90 days. Hours streamed, 281. Average viewership, 19,316, 18 million live views. And peak viewership, 175,000 viewers. And it was still because of white man. And he showed his face off. So shout out to, hey, go white boy, go. And now let's take a look at the percent changes. Well, it starts to look a little bit better. Hours streamed, still down a little bit, over 10%. Average viewership, actually up. A negligible amount, but technically up. And peak viewership, up 18%. Again, shout out Dream. Now, what's the conclusion? As a streamer, having switched from Twitch to YouTube, ignoring one crazy month, well, I think the result is it was about the same. If you look at the data, it is inconclusive whether I have grown or fallen off as a YouTube streamer compared to what I was as a Twitch streamer. I think the biggest difference is that I have dropped in hours streamed, which has resulted in a drop in hours watched. But I don't think that's necessarily fallen off because I could have streamed more hours. I just haven't due to being busy with other things or maybe not wanting to stream as much. Outside of streaming less hours, I think the day-to-day streams are about the same. Like if you pull any random stream from the past year on YouTube and any random stream from 2021 on Twitch, they're probably gonna have similar metrics. Similar hours streamed, similar viewership, similar live views, yada yada. We saw how I've changed as a streamer, which I would say is pretty negligible. We could maybe argue that maybe I would have grown more on Twitch, but how has the YouTube channel grown? Now here is the chart. 2021, of course, that is the year I was on Twitch. The total views was 334 million. The total subs gained was 1.3 million. And the total watch time was 60.3 million hours. On YouTube, the past year we've had 513 million views, 1.6 million subs gained, and 98.1 million hours watched. For a percent change of 53% increase in views, 23% increase in subs, and 62% increase in watch time. And I blocked out the revenue numbers, but I'll give you the stat. It was a 60% increase in revenue. Now, by itself, I think that's already a big win. However, we're not really capturing the full story because we are comparing Ludwig, the YouTube channel, to Ludwig, the YouTube channel in 2021 and 2022. But that's not the only thing I did this year. Now, I don't think I've said this publicly, but Mogul Mail was almost exclusively a project that I created with the intention of switching over to YouTube. I signed with YouTube about 3 to 4 weeks before I announced I switched over to YouTube. And the moment that I signed, I made a second channel because at that point, I didn't know whether I would just stream on this channel and upload my videos on another channel or what was exactly going to happen. And I didn't have a second channel to upload my videos on. So I wanted to make a second channel, grow that second channel, so maybe I could use it when I switch over to YouTube. That was the original goal. Now, what I actually said is I wanted to make something similar to the weekly slap or Mail Monday, and I wanted to take submissions from viewers. Kind of a lie. Like, I wanted to do that, but I wanted to do that so I could grow a channel to like a couple 100,000 subscribers so that maybe I could post videos on it. Kind of like how Tim the Tap Man did when he switched to YouTube, or how some other creators have done in the past. That all kind of went out the window the exact day that I switched over. Because the day that I switched over to YouTube, I uploaded 2 videos. I uploaded one, which was the trailer of me switching over on my main channel. And then I uploaded this one called Why I Left Twitch on Mogul Mail. And this video went, I think, #1 or #2 trending on all of YouTube. It made me realize that if I just freeball, speak my mind about things, people will click and listen. So let's now, with that in mind, take a look at what Mogul Mail has done over the past year. 92 million views. That's a fuck ton of views for a channel that was created in 1 year. 935,000 subscribers gained. Goddamn, we hit 1 million. We had about 70,000 before when I originally announced the channel, back when I was on Twitch. And we hit 1 million subscribers in a year, which is crazy to me. And a cool new channel. I think Mogul Mail is probably the single thing I am the most proud of and happy with when I look back on the past year. Like, there's certain projects that I think I like more, but as an overall thing that I've created, Mogul Mail is fucking tight. But I feel like overall, it's shown people like a different side of me, and it's made people who might not normally like the content I make appreciate some of what I can make. Like, there's obviously crossover between Mogul Mail and Ludwig, but you'd also be surprised how many people only watch Ludwig or only watch Mogul Mail, and I think that's really cool. And so I thought, well, how about because it doesn't seem fair to only compare my main YouTube channel with my main YouTube channel. Let's do a comparison with my YouTube channel in 2021 with my YouTube channel plus Mogul Mail in 2022. So now we are adding both main channel 2022 and Mogul Mail 2022, adding it together and comparing it to 2021 YouTube channel. The numbers are fucking crazy. 81% increase in views, 94% increase in subs, 78% increase in watch time and in revenue. That's crazy. Now, the revenue number can be really catchy, but it is worth noting that the revenue increase is completely and entirely offset by the revenue lost from being on Twitch. Does that make sense? Like, if I had still like the 30,000 subs on Twitch and whatever, it would totally cancel it out. Obviously, we're not including the amount of money that Susan pays me. Appreciate that, Susan. But just based off that, this is a 78% increase in YouTube revenue. It doesn't include my revenue on Twitch. I actually tried to pull that because I wanted to make an adjusted number, but unfortunately, Twitch doesn't give me that info anymore. And that's not the only stat. Of course, this is with Mogul Mail, but Mogul Mail and Ludwig aren't the only channels I have. And this was a stat from Jeffrey, my partner manager at YouTube. He looked at all of my YouTube channels. So Ludwig VODs, Ludwig Clips, Mogul Mail, Ludwig, and Lud and Schlatt's Musical Emporium. Add all of those up and then compare them to all the channels I had in 2021. And the numbers are staggering. 140% increase in views, 110% increase in subs, 108% increase in watch time, and 101% increase in revenue. Big change. And I think we can pretty safely say, wild success. It was a wild success. I don't know what the fuck Susan did. I don't know if she put me in an algorithm or what have you. But I think that the YouTube aspect of the streams is like, it's like night and day. And I don't know exactly why that is, to be totally honest. Because there's a lot of people who have switched over from Twitch to YouTube, and all of their numbers are worse. I don't think I know the answer. Because like my live streams, even though the numbers are about equal, I find it incredibly hard to get people to watch me live. I find it fucking hard. I feel like I'm in competition against so many more interesting things. Like seriously, if you go to your YouTube homepage, yeah, it's me there. It's Leslie live streaming, but then you have a Drew Gooden video, the fucking GOAT. You have insane YouTube shorts. You have like such insane competition. And I know how appealing it must be for even the people who are watching me right now, clicked onto my stream, when they see in the sidebar a standalone YouTube video that's perfectly edited. I will say the one thing that I haven't enjoyed switching over is reading the comment that I get almost every single day, which says, damn, tried to fast forward and I couldn't, Lamau. Motherfucker, stop telling me that. It's hurting my feelings. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the switch, just subjectively looking at the numbers, was a huge success. For the YouTube side of it and for the live streaming side of it, it hasn't really affected it, which honestly I feel fine about. But the barometer of success is not flexing in views. It's not flexing in money earned or subscribers. None of that really fucking matters. What is success? If you were to boil it down into a single sentence, what is success? My answer, simple. Success is just achieving the goals you create for yourself. So it's totally correct to say happiness. It's totally correct to say money, as long as that's the goal you set for yourself when you started whatever you have. I'm a big believer in writing down goals. I don't really get too corny. I don't get too hippie with shit. But there's one thing that I do every single year is I write down my goals, squeak them into the universe, and then try to achieve those goals in a defined period of time. And so I figured to truly answer the question, was switching over to YouTube a success? I would show you guys the goals that I wrote down at the end of last year. Now, to be clear, these goals were written at the end of December, and they were meant for the entirety of 2022. I still have a month left, so I can still achieve some of these that I'm kind of close on. Others, well, it's a little too late. Now, these are only my work goals. I wrote other personal goals, things like that, but this, for the context of this stream, is all that matters. Were they successful? Well, run the largest Smash tournament? Well, you know, technically, I did not run the largest Smash tournament, but I did run the most stacked Smash tournament ever, so I'm gonna give myself the check mark. It's a little bit of a cheat, it's a little bit of a cop-out, but I'm still proud of myself for running the most stacked tournament ever. Second, continue YouTube series. I think we crushed this goal. I think we've had the best bro versus bros this year. I think bro versus bro going IRL, or bros versus pros going IRL is probably the coolest thing I have done as a YouTube video. Wildly huge success. Mogul Money Live, also huge success. Inarguable. It happened. It was good. I was a fan of it. I think most of you guys were a fan of it. It went really well. It was probably the best day of my life in 2022. Go to Japan. I'm gonna blame Japan on this one, okay? Come on. I hate to say it. I blame the Japanese government, okay? That shit was closed up until like fucking October, all right, bro? That shit was hella closed. Now, having said that, I do have plans to go to Japan Q1 of 2023. Still a fail. Next one, I put a pause here. It is technically possible for me to hit 4 million subscribers by the end of December. My current subscriber numbers like 3.775. We're like 200,000 subs away, basically. 225,000 subs away. It's possible. I've gotten 225,000 subs in a month before, but it's only ever happened one time. So it'll be a little bit hard. It's a little bit easier if you guys subscribe right now while watching. All you have to do is scroll down and hit the subscribe button. It is totally free. And you might have been unsubscribed without knowing. So just double check. Even if you think you're subscribed, scroll down and maybe it'll be red and you'll be like, oh my God, that's supposed to be gray. And then you'll click it and I'll be a little bit closer to my goal, which I would appreciate a lot. Next goal, I put a pause as well. This goal, probably the loftiest goal that I had on the year. Getting 500,000 people to watch me live at one point, that's fucking hard. I don't know if that's possible. There are a handful of streamers who have ever done that. Shit, even Cutie's Streamer Awards got 400,000. The best chance of me getting this is the chess boxing event. 500,000 is the goal. I'd be happy if I just broke my record on YouTube and it wasn't Dream's face reveal. If I get 176,000 viewers, I think it's still a W. By the way, my chess boxing event is happening December 11th at 4 p.m. Pacific. Make sure to tune in and put it on like every TV screen in the house. Okay, thank you. Next, make cool events. I feel like we did that. I don't know. What was your favorite event that I've done this year? What event did I do that you're like, that was cool? You did cool, Ludwig. I like that event. There was Mogul Money Live. There was the poker event. I think the poker event was really cool. The Burial Cart thing, I think, was really fun to do. I don't know how well it came across in the stream. The Smash Invitational, for sure. Our /place, also a sleeper. I liked that one a lot. We did Pogo Stock. We did God of War. We did the Elden Ring Marathon stream. Those were all pretty cool. I think the chess boxing event will probably be the coolest event at the end of the year. Maybe in contention with Mogul Money Live, but we'll see. But we've done a lot of cool ones. I'm pretty happy with it overall. And then the final two goals, one was make a show with Charlie. Now, I have not done this, and I'm going to spoil it. I put a pause here. There won't be a show created with Charlie in the next month, but I have been secretly working on something with Charlie. And then the final one, of course, become a good IRL streamer. I thought IRL streaming would be bigger post-COVID. It really wasn't. I feel like most IRL streams didn't do that well from bigger creators. And then there hasn't been like a big resurgence of IRL streamers as a whole. So all in all, 4 of the goals achieved. Probably going to end up with at least 1, 2, 3, 4 of the goals failed. So it actually all comes down to the 4 million subs. Because I think we're going to fail 500,000. I think we're going to fail the show with Charlie. So that's fail, 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 fail. So whether or not I get 4 million subs determines whether I achieve over half of my goals. In that, ladies and gentlemen, is my recap. Now, the only other thing I have for you, quick little plug here, which is my chess boxing event. Now, I said this earlier in stream. If anyone doesn't know, I'm doing a chess boxing event December 11th. It's featuring a lot of streamers and creators who are participating in a real sport called chess boxing, where you do 1 2-minute round of chess, and then you switch to 90 seconds of boxing. That event has been hellish to plan. A lot of craziness. We had a few competitors drop from injury. So we're working on it. Wrapping it up here with a final thank you. Are you happy? Yeah, I think my work-life balance in a lot of ways has improved. In a lot of ways, I'm working more, but because I'm not working in front of the camera, because I have less hours streamed, I'm still able to work while like hanging out with people. Mogul Mail's been a huge W. So I think overall, I'm happy with it. What are your thoughts now on how the past year went off? Still fell off? Proud of you. It is crazy that both thoughts can exist at the same time in a chat room. It is truly a free-for-all, this area that we both exist in.